This week on Boxing Beats, we're going to roll the dice. And by roll the dice, what that actually means is we're going to discuss a load of heavyweight fights because that's what roll the dice means.
I think that's how what is commonly accepted to mean, isn't it?
I really want to start with that. So, for anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about, I believe it's Shane McGuigan sort of criticised Ben Davidson's corner advice for the Joshua Dubois fight when he said, roll the dice, just going into the round where AJ got knocked out. And then Ben Davidson sort of come out and said, no, actually, roll the dice is, what is it, a combo? It's a combination of punches.
It was a jab combo. And then, but I also heard something about throwing an uppercut from distance. And McGuigan was saying, don't do that, because if you do that, that's when you're going to get knocked out. So he also, I think he quantified it somewhat, but then obviously when he got called out, he said he meant about the double jab. They've been working on it non-stop, which everyone's just like, no, it sounded like you just said, just fucking go for it, which you did, and he got knocked out. So yeah, it's like a politician, isn't it? You know, saying, "Oh yes, no, oh I didn't know it meant that." No, what I meant by it was actually this, something else altogether.
I don't know if are we just in the modern world now where you can just make any old shit up, right? As long as you don't actually ever admit, oh no, what I said was roll the dice, which we all know that means just fucking go for it. Like, who out there believes that roll the dice is any kind of combination in any trainer's vocabulary?
No one. I don't think. Well, Ben Davis maybe.
I don't know why he doesn't just come out and say, yeah, look, we thought there was an opportunity. AJ didn't seem to have a lot left, so we thought we've got to go for it this round.
The thing is, he said afterwards as well, after he'd given that explanation, he said, but if I got it wrong, and I might have got it wrong, then fair play. So if his interpretation of roll the dice got it wrong. So he kind of showed some ownership of it. But ultimately, we're in the current Trump world, aren't we? Where you can kind of say whatever you like and not have to. I think in this country, after the Barnard Castle debacle,
yeah, that's the one, isn't it? That's the one.
You can just say whatever you want, really. It's just like, so they won't remember. They won't remember.
Yeah, it'll seem bad for a minute, but you know, if driving to Barnard Castle to test out whether your eyesight's working or not isn't an acceptable lie.
Unless you can think of a better way to test your eyes.
Nothing springs to mind.
Exactly. So I think you can just say what you want and then just say a lot of things.
It's another nail in the half open coffin of Ben Davison for me. Is that
for you? Yeah. Well, let's see what happens with Itauma, because he could, on those coat. Are you thinking it's like
Itauma is like he's like Chris Eubank when he was at his absolute peak, where he didn't even bother going back to his corner half the time.
You don't need in the same way that Usyk doesn't need a promoter. Does Itauma need a coach? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I suppose Itauma is the one he's got that's sort of the up and comer. But yeah, we'll get to Itauma in a bit because there's a few things floating around. So it's been a bit wild lately in that we haven't had a lot of fights, but there's loads of kind of rumours and stuff flying around. And the one I heard, yeah, if your name's Dave Allen, but the one I heard from the most, like, just a random place was that Dillian Whyte's about to pull out of the Itauma fight. I've no idea whether there's any truth to that whatsoever. I think it was maybe sparked a little bit by Chisora saying that he'd had a conversation and they'd offered him 2 million quid. Yeah. 2 million quid to fight Itauma. And he said, no, he laughed it off for 2 million quid.
You was like, nah. I think that's very telling. If Chisora, a man who doesn't
Not known for his brain ability.
exactly, or lack of bravery as well. Respect. To give him that.
Yep.
Not a man who's scared of taking a punch from anyone. And he's like, 2 million. You've got to be joking. So, I think that's. Do you know what? I think that's probably one of the biggest endorsements from Itauma so far.
Yeah. Well, the other one was that Chisora said, "How old is he? Is he 27?" And you're like, I don't know where you've been, Derek, but everybody's been talking about him beating Mike Tyson's record for the past 2 years. 27.
Yeah, he's been on Planet Chisora. What a place! What a place! But yeah, no, I think if he's ducking out, he said he then gave Dillian Whyte a call, right?
Yeah, he
So,
did.
mate,
Yeah.
what are you doing? What are you doing? And they were saying, I think the conversation was about, well, this could be Dillian Whyte's ticket back to the top table, but it's not. I mean, it could be. It feasible, not feasible. It could be, but that's a big could. I think it's more.
If
like
the thing is, if Whyte, by some bizarre circumstance, sparks out Itauma, I don't think it says an awful lot about Whyte. I think it says a little bit more about Itauma than it does about Whyte. I don't think that means Dillian Whyte's back to his best or anything like that.
It gets Dillian Whyte a like a Q jump. I think it gets him back into the. If AJ's having 3 fights next year, Dillian Whyte could be one of them. If he does.
I think that would already be one anyway. I think that's pretty much his own. Like Chisora and or AJ are the only fights on the table because there's no point anyone else fighting him. Like Dubois would have no interest in fighting Whyte, for instance.
I don't think the AJ fight's on the table now. I think it would be if he won this.
You don't think so? Because I think AJ's not got a lot to go at either. Like,
well, he wants Wilder and Fury, right?
Well, I suppose those are to me. AJ's now probably seen that he can't get a belt.
No.
So he's like, right, well, what are the biggest money fights out there? And I think those 3 are the biggest money fights out there for him: Whyte, Fury, Wilder.
Yeah, but I think he's completed Whyte as far as I'm concerned. I know you could say it's a trilogy of the amateur fight, but he doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need any of them. But
he's got history on it because it's the fight that didn't happen as well. So obviously they had a fight, but it was supposed to happen again, and it hasn't.
I don't think there's a clamour for it. I think if
British, it's well, and it'd be a great British dust up, but
it would be. But at the moment, I don't think it's one people are that I'm not that fussed about it. I think if he beats Itauma, Whyte becomes relevant again. That's what it is. It's his ticket to relevancy.
Yeah.
Which, if he doesn't, then he just he gets relegated to my mini league of British heavyweights, which I'm still, even though it's not going to happen, I'm still excited about the prospect of it. Loads of domestic fights.
It could be brilliant, but it's not going to happen because nobody wants to sort of be in that. I don't think, or everyone that is in that wants a bigger fight than the fights that would be in there.
Well, indeed, will, which maybe leads us to Dave Allen, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, I suppose because, firstly, I actually heard a rumor about 4 or 5 days ago.
Go on. I was just saying for the Whyte rumor. Where's that come from? Sorry, the Whyte Itauma rumor.
I heard it on a YouTube channel, not a massive one, about 1 day ago. So they were saying there's rumors afoot that Whyte's about to pull out.
We should start doing that. Just putting.
Maybe this is it. Maybe that YouTube channel will delete its video, and this is us starting it.
Yeah. But that's it. It's come from that. Okay.
But then there's also been rumors that I don't even know if I've told you this one, that Dave Allen is in line to fight Joshua. That was one, which seems insane.
Yeah, that's mad. That is mad.
So Dave Allen himself has come out and said there's been talk of a massive fight for him, like bigger than sort of what he expected. And I think he was expecting a decent sized fight already. So I think he was expecting maybe a British title fight or the Wilder fight. He was they were potentials. But it sounds like whoever this one is another step up. Now, AJ was a rumour. Joseph Parker has been a slightly more solid rumour from what I've heard.
Yes, I've heard them.
But I don't know how many of them make sense.
Well, as we were messaging about it, I made my notes and it's like Allen versus Parker, AJ Wilder, and I was like, versus Parker, no, because that's not fair on Joseph Parker. I like Dave Allen, but Joseph Parker's owed. We spoke about the Dubois thing last week. Joseph Parker is owed a fight, and Dave Allen is. I don't think Dave Allen troubles Joseph Parker. I don't think he troubles him, but it's not easy work, is it?
No, it's not. It's not easy work. No,
I don't think Joseph Parker wants easy work, but also it's not particularly. I don't think. I know he stars up there a bit now, Dave Allen, but it's not a big money fight either. So I don't.
But then, have you heard who Parker is likely to fight?
Have I? No, I don't know if I.
Well, this is more than a rumor. Parker Chisora 3.
Oh no, I have. Sorry, yeah, Christ. But that's.
It's not. It's something of a come down from about to fight Daniel Dubois for a title.
Do you know what? Actually, I did see that, and I was thinking the only way that makes sense for me is if Usyk wins.
That's a winner. That's a win. That's a semi-final. Has to be a semi-final.
No. But Usyk wins against Dubois, so the IBF goes over to Usyk. Usyk retires, or the IBF gets vacated. Parker then inherits it or gets a chance to fight for it, and he fights against Chisora. And then it kind of makes sense, and it has this real romance to it because Parker can win it, but also imagine if Chisora retired as a world champion. And then that suddenly that becomes really exciting. Same as if it was Dave. But I don't think I just can't see Dave Allen on a title. But that's the only way it makes sense for me is if it becomes for the IBF. So it can't be. Well, it wouldn't be before July 29th anyway. Yeah, that's the only way that could happen. But I thought Chisora was just. I'm having one more fight in.
The famed fight in Africa that will never happen. Nobody's gonna put a big fight on in Africa, man. Nobody's gonna do it.
As his, do you know what? His Excellency. I've noticed that the Excellency moniker is dropping a bit. It's just more often Turkey now. Like what Canelo didn't call him the kid in the press conference. He was calling him, Turkey. And I think it was very rare you see him just referred to as Turkey. I think Simon Jordan was just calling him Turkey as well. And Simon Jordan wouldn't call anyone his Excellency anyway. But I'm just noticing maybe that just for sycophants are dropping off a bit on that, which I'm glad about because it was becoming incredibly awkward.
It's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing. Nobody talks about that in boxing. Nobody talks about it going, why do we have to call him His Excellency every single time, right? Yeah. Obviously, the guy's got an ego the size of a damn planet, but that's one step too far.
Yeah. Yes, but in the same breath, I love it. It's just.
I'd like it if Chris Eubank referred to him as His Excellency. That would be good. Just having a little stab at Ben at the same time.
Yeah, I think Senior would quite like to have something like that in front of his own name. I know he's the deputy sheriff. I do like a deputy sheriff badge that he has. So I'd like it if he made people refer to him as the deputy sheriff.
I think people would just not book him for anything if that was the case. It's just let's just leave it.
Yeah, this guy's a bit tricky as it goes, but now he's added in this next condition. Yeah, just get it, Chris. Just straight up. Senior, Chris Eubank Junior's dad, straight from you. Definitely Gareth Eubank. Yes.
So out of those fights that we talked about, because
yeah.
which is the most interesting? I mean, before we get to actually that, what is interesting is the timing of Joshua not signing a fight for anyone at all. And we're obviously rolling quite close to Usyk Dubois now. Is there something in that?
In what if someone calls out to me, or
No, and I think is AJ. This is out there. This is just complete guesswork. Is he lined up for the winner?
oh,
It's in. I know it's supposed to be injured, AJ. It's just interesting that he hasn't got a fight at any point lined up.
maybe, and maybe. Do you know what I would? I was thinking about this as well. I like just all the permutations of it. If Usyk wins, what could it mean? If Dubois wins, if Dubois won, which I don't think he will, but if Dubois won, AJ Dubois 2 would be astronomical. Wouldn't it?
It would. It's one of those ones. It upsets quite a lot of people, that fight, because people think that AJ doesn't deserve it. Because he obviously got battered first fight, doesn't deserve a sort of another go at it. There are other people in line.
No.
But there are always fighters, aren't there, who just put so much money on the table just by their star power alone that they sort of get to Q jump. And AJ, he still is one of them. Fury still is one of them.
Fury's the same. So I think either one of them could be, because it makes sense either way, right? You either get a trilogy fight with either of them and Usyk, or you get a revenge story for AJ, or Fury just comes back in,
says, "I want Dubois,"
becomes undisputed, and
who would Fury who would Fury fight before he fought Dubois? Like what? How low? He'd probably fight this Herndon guy that Wilder's fighting.
I was going to say Elanius.
Well, no, that bin man that Itauma just sparked out. It's get him on the go. Mike Balogun, get him on the go.
Well,
Fury loves an absolute nobody to return
exactly. Eric Molina, something like that. I don't know if he's still going.
I don't think he is.
If you look at as if you do, you look at anyone's record, Molina's generally on there at some point.
Mm.
No, he generally is. There's no will be there. But yeah, no, I could see. Or would Fury would take a warm up fight because he does.
I think so.
Just getting over if he had to. But no, I think Wilder, Alan. I hope that's it. That's the one I'd like it to be. I don't think there's nothing. Why would AJ take for Alan fight? There's not money there for it, is there? There's some, but not like enough.
No.
There's not legacy yet. There's not a belt there.
No, there's nothing. It's not. That can't happen, that one.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Parker doesn't really make sense either. Parker Chisora makes marginally more sense. If it's
the appetite to watch Parker Chisora for a third time, it's just like, what's the point? What is the point? Tell you what, guys. We've seen it. Just don't bother. Skip that one. Whoever you're going to fight after, just do that. Have a break.
Well, Alan Wilder makes sense if Wilder comes through his tricky test on Friday night. I was looking at Herndon's record. Have you looked at it?
Actually, the main thing I was looking at is his age.
Yeah. Is he 40?
I believe he's 37. It isn't actually listed in some places his age at all, but I believe he's 37.
I looked at him on BoxRec, and he was listed as inactive. So his last fight was May last year, where he won a 6-round split decision against someone.
You know,
It's fun.
you always know you're up against a solid fighter when they're fighting 6 rounds.
Exactly 6 rounds on a split decision. So, I mean, the fight before that was a 10 round split decision. So it's like, okay, he's clearly coming off the back of some recent football.
And
But
before that, he got sparked by Richard Torres Jr. in 2 rounds. So
yeah,
yeah,
yes.
it's his record. This is a fight where Wilder has he's got to knock him out in two. I think.
I mean, I looked at this and I thought Herndon is someone who's clearly, well, he's inactive. He's clearly, I don't know whether he's going for a divorce. He needs some money. It's like a payday loan. This is it. He needs cash. He needs it quick. It's got, if a bailiff's to knock him, and it's like, Christ, the only option I got here is to go and get sparked out and just hope it doesn't happen.
Okay, so what about this then? We're assuming he's in there to get sparked out. He's been sparked out a few times, right?
Yeah.
He might as well go in there, right, and just throw bombs. This guy, go in there and just start swinging at Wilder because Wilder's susceptible as hell. So, like, if you land first, you're probably going to knock him out.
Yeah. Yeah. What I expect we're going to get is similar to the second Stavern fight.
Yeah.
Where someone who's just come in and it's like, right, go on then, let's get this done.
How much would you want to get in the ring with Wilder? So, yeah, what would it take to get you in the ring with Wilder right now? Bear in mind a couple of things. So you're not a pro boxer. So chances are if you get hit with a bomb, it's going to do you a lot more damage than a boxer who knows how to ride a shot or to move with a shot. There's every chance you turn into it, you don't move your head at all, like serious injury.
Without going into detail, we'd have to cover my mortgage and my future earnings for the next 30 years, I think. So
about 10 grand then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, on the current trajectory, we'd be looking more, 20 grand. No, you'd want 5-10 mil, wouldn't you?
Oh, I'd do it for far less than that. Yeah,
I'd want to be very comfortable, given that I'm going to.
I think $500,000. I'm going to take $500,000 for it because, right, I think might get some interviews out of this afterwards, or you're going to get memed to hell, aren't you?
Yeah, but I want money in the bank. I don't want earning potential. No, I don't because I don't think because I'm assuming I'm going to be absolutely scrambled after this. I'm not going to be able to capitalize on that earning potential. So I want money in the bank. So I'm factoring it all in.
Well, what I'm thinking though is,
I'm Celebrity, Big Brother, The Voice, everything I could appear on, I wouldn't be able to.
Well, I'm thinking there's an outside chance that I might spark him.
So we go, if he has a chance.
There's an outside chance that I might spark him and then get myself a decent. No, I think you probably go in, right? Just have a little kick at his legs, see what happens.
Sweep his legs.
Because they're his weak point, aren't they?
Do you know what I'd do? I would gladly do the pre-fight build-up with him, and then do a Dubois and get a cold in the build-up. Because I'd love to trash talk him, bring Twiglets to the press conference.
Yeah.
Look at me, I'm stuff like that, real childish stuff like that. Hopefully get a bit of a following.
It'd be so good. It'd be so good doing that because you could do anytime they asked you anything, you could go to this day.
I'd walk to a press conference in that suit that he wore to the
heavy one.
The one that everyone. I'd get there, and as I'd sat on my chair,
just clap
back and fold up my chair. So, I'd like to do that.
Take your glove off. take glove off, put a weight shaped like an egg inside it. He might be the best fighter you could troll out there, I reckon.
I think so. He's got a lot. The thing was, do you remember with that suit thing? The really mad. Well, I've said a lot crazy about it, but he'd been training in like a heavy suit to help him with his resilience going into the later rounds. And the heavy suit he'd actually been fighting in, and there's a video of him bragging about he'd done 12 rounds, was actually slightly heavier than the suit he walked to the ring in.
Right?
Did you see that video? So he'd actually
I've not seen him talk about that suit before.
He was prepared not just for the situation of walking into the ring. According to him, he could fight 12 rounds in a suit.
Oh, what? Do you think maybe they had like too many steps to actually get up to the ring, and it's like he could stay on the flat on the level absolutely fine, but doing the stairs just absolutely took his thighs.
Legs for it. No?
Yeah, he didn't have them.
He fractured his femur. That's it. But yeah, so I just find it's mad. Like, if it was maybe on UK time, I might just watch it, but it's not a fight I'm staying up for.
Yeah. So, but stick a prediction on it.
Wilder knockout in the first round.
Yeah, mine's the same. Like that. In fact, I wonder what odds you'd get on that, because it just seems like that is like I mean, I don't know if you've ever watched Wilder versus Malik. Oh, actually, this is a really good point. I don't know if you've ever watched Wilder versus Malik Scott, the fight.
Yes.
So Malik Scott went down without getting hit, right? He was a complete joke. Malik Scott is not in Wilder's corner for this fight, so there's a chance the old Wilder is back, because he has been, you know,
Malik Scott's the guy who got thrown under the bus for the towel going in Fury 2 or Fury 3. Which one was it?
No, the towel went in 2, but he wasn't there for that,
because they just completely threw someone under the bus when it was like, well, that guy's just saved your fucking life for me.
Malik Scott came in and has been his trainer ever since.
Right.
And he's his mate, but he's rubbish, because he's been the one that's been trying to get him boxing, not just swinging punches. But apparently he's gone now, so this is his first fight without him, which is a good thing. I think nearly everybody in boxing thinks it's a good thing that. Like, he's too old to learn how to box. And also, Malik Scott isn't the person. Malik Scott's not the person to teach you how to box either.
Yeah. But as well, I think there's something to be said for understanding what you're not good at and parking that. If you're really, really good, like generationally good at one thing, just focus on that.
Well, especially when you're like pushing 40 as well, you know.
Exactly.
Like,
it's now not the time to learn to stick and move, is it? It's just load up.
I really actually want to see the odds for like a first round knockout. So Wilder is to win the fight is 1-16 on. So
that's actually closer than I thought it would be. But yeah, new Wilder. I thought it would be something like you're sitting in the odds was this Club World Cup when that team from New Zealand, they're playing against Bayern Munich. Immediately they were 6-0 down by half time. Before the game, there was something like Bayern Munich was something like 1-800 on to win.
Bloody hell! It's got banana skin written all over it. This fight, mate, really has.
Yeah. Exactly. But Wilder hasn't beaten anyone, has he, since Hellenius? And Hellenius really didn't show up.
Yeah.
Other than that, he's lost Parker, Zhang, Fury twice. They're his last 5 fights, aren't they? So this is ultimately pointless.
It is utterly pointless. He's going to come
unless it's just a tune up.
But how is a first round knockout over a nobody that multiple other people have knocked out early? How is it any kind of tune up? It's you know what is quite annoying about this fight is that this is exactly what happened with Hellenius. They stuck him in there between fights to make him, fight some, and he just sparked him out in the first round.
maybe I'm going to rather piece all the rumours together now. Maybe this is the warm-up fight to Dave Allen. The winner of Dave Allen versus Wilder gets to fight AJ, and that is the only way that AJ could get the deal done with Wilder, is if there's this Wilder Allen pre-fight in there. So that's the only credence you could give to the Allen AJ rumor.
The very concept that Deontay, look, run back in time. Let's go back 4 years. The concept that Deontay Wilder needs a warm-up fight to take on Dave Allen. It's just.
I remember Dave Allen is the gatekeeper to his big fight with AJ. That was fantastic. But what do you know what? I bloody love boxing. All these things could be true. All these things could be true.
I do like boxing. I just feel like we're in a real mess at the moment with all these fights where none of them really mean anything at all. Like, there's so many fights rumored that don't do anything for anyone, move anyone on. Joe Parker can't get anything. Derek Chisora's final fight is utterly pointless. Like, the only one that's got any worth to it is Dillian Whyte getting sparked out, like, which actually advances somebody on.
Do you know what? Right, okay, here, right, and so Wilder having a fight, any fight. Dillian Whyte coming back having a fight, trying to get a seat at the table. Chisora, Chisora's been less active than anyone really, hasn't he? But the fact he's lining up a fight out maybe with Parker or someone. It's all this. It's just jostling for the position because there's money to be had out in Riyadh, isn't there? And I think that's it. You're jostling for a payday and position for after this post-July the second world.
I suppose, yeah.
Second world. So I think it's just, right, don't forget about I am here, because I also think with Usyk, and it makes sense that he retires after this Dubois fight. It makes sense.
Presumably that is happening based on the fact that he's split with split with Krasik. Like, it's an odd time to announce it. I don't really know what to make of that. It just seems a very odd time to kind of announce that at all.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense that they are splitting, assuming that this is Usyk's last fight and that he doesn't need a manager, promoter, whatever. He doesn't need that.
This is the thing. He's not actually, he's a promoter, isn't it? But I also think in the world of Riyadh season, does anyone need to promote that?
It's true. It is true. Yeah.
He's excellently doing it, isn't it? So it's whether it's actually needed at all. But yeah, I guess he's like, I think it was Gareth A. Davis saying it. It does make sense that he's getting close to the end and he's counting all the beans as well. Do I actually need you?
Yeah.
I mean, it does. But also, I'd also heard that. I'd also heard that his contract was up anyway, and it's like it's just being announced, and he was like, well, "There's no point in renewing it."
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Let's say Dubois wins, and Usyk thinks, "Well, I'm not going out on a defeat." So Usyk signs with Eddie Hearn for like one fight. I can't. You can't imagine Usyk under any other promoter, though, can you?
No, and they seem to have a really nice.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
Good rapport, like, and with the press and the way they are. And Krasik's good mouthpiece, isn't he? You know, he's he said he comes across well. So yeah, maybe it is just the end of a contract, and there's no, maybe he was offered like, well, he'd say, look, there's one more fight to be had after this, so you can either have that, because I will know maybe his terms we wanted a 10. I don't know, whatever term it'd be. Who knows?
I
agree. Weird time to announce it.
I can only read that this is Usyk's last fight. That's all I can read into this.
I think so. So yeah, I think therefore everyone else has just got to stay active, get active, even if it means if you only fight in towns, either Itauma or Dave Allen.
Really is.
Yeah. The other Itauma one as well that I'd heard was at Bakole, who just flat out said nope, nope,
Well,
thank you.
speaking of Bakole, this isn't about Bakole at all. The Bakole Itauma rumor is back on again as well.
Which Bakole rumour?
So Itauma to fight Bakole next after Dillian Whyte.
Oh. Okay. All right. Well, you know, yeah. It's another name, I guess, isn't it? And it was the one beforehand, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I guess, do you know what? I think as well, I think Itoma's reputation, as I was saying earlier, the fact Chisora wouldn't take the fight was maybe making him even harder to place, other than like you've got to because you've got a belt. And if you don't,
I'm telling you now, it's really looking like they are having a real tough time getting anyone in there with him. It really is looking like that now.
wonder what Whyte's been offered. Chisora turned down 2 million.
Less than that, I would imagine.
I imagine more.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I don't know. Like it's a bit. I still don't think it should be Dillian Whyte. Like I don't mind the fight. I like the fight. I still think he's going to get sparked early. The fact is just is a drugs cheat that gets rewarded every time. It's just a bit like, come on now, like put him out to pasture now.
Yeah. He owned he's a good drug cheat because he doesn't deny it, doesn't claim it's eggs. The worst thing you can do is deny it. Just like, I did that, like Jarrell Miller. Yeah.
So you've got to say he did it, but by accident. You can't say he did it on purpose. That's the absolute. That's the worst thing you can do. Obviously, the press tour for Canelo Crawford is in full swing now. A few things have happened. They've had a press conference. Piers Morgan was part of it as well. Not the press conference, but part of the proceedings. I haven't actually watched any of it yet because, well, primarily I'm not that bothered about the fight. I'll get there when it sort of closes in, but it's not a fight that I'm so hyped about that I need to watch like the press stuff like ages before.
Well, they're not. Yeah, exactly. Neither of them. I think it could. I think it. We slugged it off last week, didn't we? I will get excited about it because they're two really class fighters. So I will get excited about it. I haven't watched the Piers Morgan one because it's on Piers Morgan and
why when I mean, again, another thing, sort of going back a few years, if we said like Piers Morgan and Simon Jordan, sort of big figureheads in sort of boxing in the UK, you'd be like, what, those two absolute twats?
Well, okay. I think yes. I think let's separate the two because I think Simon Jordan is on a sports station. He clearly has a real love for the sport.
He's on a sports station. He's got a background in football. Let's just get that out there.
He does. But his podcast is actually decent, and I think he does know his stuff. And he's quite funny. They're the redeeming qualities. Piers Morgan's redeeming qualities.
He's got access. He's got access.
Feel free to jump in. Like, he's a man who, Christ alive, is insufferable. So, but I guess he has a platform. He has a platform, and that's this is the thing with the fight. He has that crossover appeal, I guess. God knows why, but he has that crossover appeal. So it's about getting the fight out there in front of people. I guess it's like the olden days of
I don't know, but like, let's take Canelo Crawford to the masses. They are big names, but they're not casual names, are they? And I know Canelo is a massive name, obviously, but he's not like, if you went out on the street, like in the UK, and you found some non-boxing fans, some of them might have heard of Canelo, not all of them, and probably none of them have heard of Crawford.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, when you look at Piers Morgan and go, this is the guy to take it to the masses, everyone fucking hates him.
Well, Yeah, correct. I think we're in the echo chamber here of rational people. There are a lot of reactionary knobheads out there who buy into his shit. So, mm,
Well,
yeah,
are they not 60-year-old like
yeah,
right? So that's who we're having for
that's the
the
future of
Canelo
boxing.
Crawl.
That's the future of boxing right there. Yeah, no, yeah, people,
Piers Morgan's audience. That's where we need boxing to
that's where an
be.
absolute 100%, because you look at I say it's like the antithesis to golf, right? So you know how with golf they have this problem of like, they're pale, male, stale. That's the golf audience. So how do we take it to this wide audience, right? We launch live, we go to this younger audience, we'll make it, shorter formats of the game. Every player gets placed, but they're
We
taking younger
we copy cricket. Yeah, we copy cricket.
so that's so golf doing that, right? Whereas boxing, I'm like, well, we've got the YouTube audience nailed because of that knobhead who's fighting at the weekend, right? So the youngsters are getting into it. What we've got is there's a load of people who fell out of love with boxing, the boomer generation, who are still like, oh, there's no rally, and then after like, they're still annoyed that in the 80s and early 90s, all the heavyweights didn't fight each other. They fell out of love with boxing then, so that's what I think this is. How do we get him back? I disagree that Canelo Crawford's a fight to do it. But,
You know what? I am much as I will get into this fight, and I hope it's a good fight. There's part of me that thinks I sort of hope it's a stinker as well. Like it kind of deserves to be a bit of a stinker. I don't like these sort of fabricated fights. There's no beef between them. There's no beef. They're not in the same weight. Like they're not even nearly in the same weight. They've got no crossover. They've never fought the same people. They're never going to have fought the same people. They've got no personal beef with each other whatsoever. No. Like it's just a totally fabricated fight.
The only thing they have in common is they are generationally good fighters within their weight division.
Bloody hell. When he said that line at the start, the only thing they had in common, I'm like, bloody hell, where's he going to go?
Where's he going?
A ginger Mexican.
It's Terence Crawford. No, it's just that they're both very good in the same sport. They shouldn't be close together, but they're making it happen. So on that point of them not having a beef, it was like the press conference was dull, man. And I watched the highlights because I knew it'd be dull the whole lot. And they were trying to stoke up in some way of like, yeah, but what would happen if it was a street fight? Who would win then? And so they're trying, like, if it was what it's not, in this hypothetical situation, what would happen? And it's like Omaha or wherever it is Terence Crawford's from, and Terence Crawford's just doing that. Oh, you know how I do. You know what I do. You don't need to ask me. So it's like, okay. Right, if it was in Guadalajara, what would you do? It's different then, different. And that's basically, I was trying to stoke up something. So we're trying to create some animosity there.
I don't like that question. Whenever they say that in any fight, and they go, "Yeah, but what if it was a street fight?" And I think, well, what if it was archery? Like,
exactly.
You know what? Who gives a shit? But it's not. And even when they do it, like, they'll do it between like when an MMA fight. I think when like Darren Till or someone like that, they were saying, "Oh, what about him fighting Froch?" Yeah, but what if they had a fight in the street? And it's like, yeah, what if? Like,
yeah, what if?
Who cares?
You could have to pay these guys millions to fight in either an octagon or a ring. They're not going to do it on the street. It's that.
And you know what? You can count the street fights that I've watched in the past 40 years on zero hands.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not getting the popcorn out for that.
No.
I can't even stand that horrible crock of shit that I see all the time. Them slapping contests. Oh my God, I don't know what that is. Get that out. Get that off everywhere.
I've actually instilled that as a form of conflict resolution in my house between my kids.
At the very least, I hope you're filming it though.
Oh yeah, and then of course, say what you like, but I will monetize those children. No, the press conference was dull. The thing that was funny for me, that I took out of it, is like, again, they're saying, well, it's not going to be a fight where anyone's going to run. They're talking about that. I hope they're both going to come. I think Turkey's saying, yeah, they're both going to come on to fight and all of that. So
That's not going to happen.
they start talking about the Willing Skull fight, and Canelo and Fair's quite dismissive. He's, oh, well, yeah, appreciate Crawford's a very different fighter. It's going to be a different fight to that. But then he also says, but you know me, I'm a winner. So basically, what he's saying there is, yeah, you can say I'm not going to throw, maximum 4 shots per round. But if that's what I need to do to win me and just avoid you, then that is 100% what I'll do. And he doesn't care about taking boxing to the Piers Morgan audience, does he? He's not fussed about that. He just wants to win, because for him, I mean, it's like he's not lose here. Well, yeah.
Yeah, he can't
wins,
really win.
If he wins, he's beating someone who's 2 weights below him, whatever.
Yeah, he can't really win.
If he loses, so he's just gonna do a number.
And I think, no matter what happens, everyone's gonna say, well, he took it instead of fighting Benavidez. I don't think he's ever going to escape that now.
No, exactly. So it's they're trying to stir it up. Dana White wasn't there. I reckon he might do a better job. I didn't see it there.
It was a push. Was it not a push? Did Canelo push him at some point, or is that in a?
I didn't see the face up. I mean, it might have been a push, but it's all.
You can't. The push has sort of been. It's over now, isn't it? A push is not enough. Like, obviously, we had
in the world of the egg.
Well, exactly. Ever since the post-egg world,
in this in the post-egg era, when the post-egg era of boxing,
a push is nothing. And Daniel Dubois pushed Usyk. But it was like when he pushed in, I was like, that's the funniest push I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're
trying to so slow. He put his hands on him, and I'm just thinking, do it then, because it was almost like he half bottled it. Like,
yeah, it's like you rewind. Yeah, no, I think it's. I mean, and they're trying to spook it up, and I guess that's what's going to be the press, because it's going to be a massive event on Netflix. I think they're going to try and stoke up some rivalry there to bring the eyeballs in.
What you need to do is, in this day and age, you need something in your hand. Obviously, the egg's gone. The egg's been done. David Hay used a bottle on Chisora, didn't he?
There's been a table.
Yeah, you need to get far more creative.
Trying to think, the egg was just so good, wasn't it? What else could you have?
Yeah, I don't know, like a slab of Mexican beef or something like that. You're out of options.
Yeah, the beef's not a bad show, actually.
It's not good enough anymore. It just needs to be something else. Like, it's all been done. You can't, like, a real push is all right. A real push that is someone that doesn't like someone else.
You know what actually would be good for? If you made it playground, like you did like a nipple cripple, something like that. They're not expecting that, are they?
People have done that, though. People have, not the nipple, but obviously they've done the tickle. As Fury not tickled somebody, he might have tickled Usyk at one point.
Done the kiss as well.
The kiss has happened. Yeah.
Maybe a wet willy.
yeah.
Your hand gets there, you're not expecting that higher. You kind of like,
why is he sucking his finger? Like,
well, that would freak him out. You start doing that, giving it like the Leslie Graham from in front of them, and then you just bosh, off you go.
Now there's a joke that'll get us to the young audience.
A pop culture reference. So that's for the Piers Morgan. I don't know, officials and the Queen falling before Piers Morgan group, aren't we? So yeah, there we go. All
right. So one maybe final thing. I don't know. Obviously, Boxer have lost. You mentioned there was rumours of it a while back, but they've lost the Sky deal. But I mean, are we in danger now of Eddie Hearn sort of sweeping up Boxer's British stable of fighters potentially?
I think so. I don't know where Boxer go
because
actually, I say that could they go TNT because Queensbury are on the zone now, right?
I suppose. Yeah. Would that be enough? I don't know, because obviously Eubanks with Boxer. Maybe Ben Whittaker's with Boxer. Like, you can't imagine they're going to hang around. I suppose Eubank is his own animal in that whoever he fights, Sky are going to show it. That's not going to be a problem, is it?
Eubank doesn't need a promoter, does he?
But they've got an all right stable of boxer, and no longer having Sky is a problem. And Hearn's British stable is pretty weak if he wants it. I don't know if he wants it at all.
It was. Do you know what I think? I know you're a fan of him, but he's that 5-year deal or whatever it was he had with Sky was awesome. That's some pretty good.
Yeah.
The grand there. I think boxer, and I don't particularly like him, but I just haven't enjoyed the event. It's very rare.
Hearn had Joshua though at the right time.
Yeah, I had Joshua. He had Froch, the Froch Groves, Joshua.
Yeah,
he had a good run of it. It seemed to be nostalgic to see most Saturdays there'd be a good domestic fighter on. But then also you had on Box Nation and then BT and TNT, you had Dubois, Anthony Yard, like as Frank was starting to sort of rebuild as well.
Yeah.
There's enough to go round for Boxer, really. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it does seem like Eddie Hearn's only bothered about the US, so I don't know. Maybe, like you say, they do get TNT. I don't know. They need to do something though, because it's not looking good.
No, it's not, is it? But who goes into Sky though?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Because I can't imagine Sky not having boxing. Or I hope they don't.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Yeah. So they'll do, because they always used to have deals, well, not deals, but they'd show the US fights, wouldn't they? All Top Rank and, Golden Boy and all that. You'd have all those on there, so.
Yeah. I just think, I don't know, this is a very British view, but the interest in US boxing for me is just it's probably the lowest it's ever been. Like, I think it's not helped by the fact that they haven't got a decent heavyweight from America. Like,
no, exactly.
They really need 2 or 3 pretty good heavyweights. I don't know what's going on. Like, they've got such a history of having brilliant heavyweight fighters. And obviously the Klitschko era sort of killed a lot of that off. But you would have thought they would have come back since then, and it's not really happened. And yeah, I mean, the fact that Wilder never really fought anyone as well.
No, exactly. And he never really cut through over there either, did he?
No, he had poor figures over there, didn't he? Poor figures.
So, I don't know. They'll come again. But